Another new year means the start of a second semester of homeschooling. Today we're going to give you our mid-year homeschooling update. Alright guys, welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 9 down to 4, and here on my channel we talk all things homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. So if that is something that interests you, I would love for you to stick around by subscribing. Just hit that red subscribe button down in the description bar below. This video is also in collaboration with Valerie at My Homeschool Castle. There will be a playlist linked down in the description where you can find everyone else's video that is participating in this collab. There are several other moms that are giving their mid-year updates. So I'm going to start by just kind of telling you how our first semester ended. It went really well. We get really busy. I don't know why I plan a ton of stuff in November and December, but I really wanted to try to take from Thanksgiving to the first of the year off, but we got behind and needed to kind of keep going with the way that our family schedules were working out, my work schedule, and all the things were working out. We kind of got behind, so we needed to keep trucking along a little bit. Some of the plans that I had laid out for December didn't quite work out as well as I had hoped it would, but nonetheless, we finished up our language arts and our math where I wanted us to get for the end of first semester, and I thought that was good enough, and we stopped there. So what we did finish for, we finished up our language arts. We have been working on this since last January, so January of 2021 is when we started language lessons for living education 2 and 3 for 2 of my kids, and we finished that in December. I wanted to get that done. I did not want to roll it over into January of 2022, so we were able to get these done. I am going to do a full review of these in a separate video, so if you're interested in that, be on the lookout for that coming in the coming weeks. And so that went really well. They're still working through math lessons of a living education. Lily-Anna is almost done with hers, which I had a feeling she would be. She would fly right through it. Jameson has probably 10 lessons left, and then he will be finished, and they were doing like 2 lessons a week. Our schedule was working out pretty well as far as like our schedule of the day is working out pretty well of having morning time when we first get started, and then we move into any group subjects that we have, and then move into individual subjects. And I'll talk a little bit later about how we're changing up our schedule. That was working at the end of the semester. It's not going to work so much going into this coming up semester, and I'll talk more about that in just a minute. But so we are going to be changing up our schedule a little bit. We are continuing with Explode the Code for all the kids. This has been a staple in our homeschool since we started at the very beginning. We're still working through this, doing 2 pages a day, just to kind of keep that refresher of phonics skills and sounds. Spelling is going really well. We do BJU spelling. We're in spelling 2 and 3 is what my kids are doing so far right now, and it's going fairly well. I like the structure and the layout of this a lot better than any other program that I have tried. I have a full what my favorite spelling curriculum is, and like flip through of this and a lesson with us of this spelling curriculum. I'll link it up here in the iCards and down in the description below if you want to know more about that from BJU. So that's kind of how our year ended. Not a whole lot to really report about other than I'm a little disappointed in how we are doing morning time. We're not really into read alouds a whole lot. It's just when things get really busy, that's what tends to drop for me, and I focus mainly on language arts and math, and that's it. So moving forward into the new year, I really want to put some emphasis on our kind of streamlining our morning time and morning basket. Once I get that done, I will let you guys know about that for sure. I'm still going to be doing monthly morning menu videos and putting those together for my kids, because that does keep us on track with our morning time. And so I'm just trying to think through this. You think you get something laid out and you have this schedule worked out, and then you throw the kids into the mix, and then it's like, okay, this is not going to work. We're going to have to change this. We're going to have to make a whole bunch of changes. So a lot of that is how I prioritize things in my brain. And just when I get overwhelmed, it's like, okay, basics, let's go. Let's get this done. The fluff will come later. And I'm realizing that we're not really cycling back to a lot of that stuff during our day or even in our week. So that's one thing I miss in our homeschool is the read aloud time and just the time cuddled up on the couch where we're talking about history and science and reading aloud and doing picture books and chapter books and all of that stuff. It's just getting harder to do with this season of life that we're in. So I want to put some more emphasis on that moving forward in the new year. So some changes that we're making, if you couldn't tell by the way that I talked about that language arts curriculum, we are changing language arts for all of our kids. And we are moving to, I'm just going to hold up one of them, but I'm going to do a haul video on my BJU curriculum that I put up. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this right now. But we are moving to language arts from BJU for all of my kids. So we're doing 3 with Jameson, who's in 3rd to 4th grade, and then we're doing English 2 with our 2nd grader, and then we are doing kindergarten and phonics 1 with our first grader, and then I'm gonna start Benjamin on some kindergarten work here in the coming weeks as well. So that's going to be a change for us. We're also adding in reading curriculum from Christian Light Education. So we're going to be doing reading 2 with both Jameson and Liliana. I realize Jameson is in 4th grade, Liliana is in the 2nd grade, and the reason why I'm going to have them do it together is because Jameson has really struggled with reading, and so I figured to make it a little more cost effective for us, I would just group them together. And I just figured that we would start there. I didn't want to overwhelm him. He already struggles with reading, and I just didn't want to overwhelm him with putting him in like reading 4 or reading 3. But we need to get a reading curriculum going and get more consistent on that, because it is, as my husband and I have talked about, it is now becoming noticeable, not just to us, but to other people, that he is really behind on that. And it's not for lack of trying on our part. It's just, I've focused on it, but I haven't just really been like, okay, we have got to get you reading fluently. We have got to get you on track and up to par where you need to be. We're even thinking about, I've thought about maybe having him tested for dyslexia and some different things. We've tried a number of reading curriculums and he just hates it. He absolutely hates it. So I figured I was going to get this for Liliana anyway. And so I figured I would just have him go through it with her, which could cause a little bit of contention too, because he wouldn't be sitting with her as he does it. They would be on the same level. There is a little bit of competition there between them, because he does feel like a little, I don't know what the word is, but he doesn't like it necessarily that his sister is on the same level as him, because she's leveled up, and they are now same. She's passed him in some areas, and he doesn't necessarily like that. But we've just tried to tell him, like, you work at your own pace. That's why we homeschool. We work at your own pace. We do what you can do, and we'll catch you up. We'll get you there. So we've got to continue to work on that. So that's one thing that's new also coming in for this year. We are also going to be, once they finish Math Lessons of a Living Education, we're year-round homeschool. So once we finish one book, we just kind of move into the other until we get to our allotted days for the year. So once she, all of the kids finish their math, we're going to move into BJU math. So we have math 3. This is actually going to be Liliana's. And then I have math 4 for Jameson. He's going to move into this, which he's finished with Math Lessons for a Living Education. I thought about just going ahead and stopping them where they were and then us jump into it. But I wanted them to just go ahead and finish this and continue to work through this. There's things about this that we don't necessarily love, and so that's why we are changing from this, even though I told y'all, if y'all have been around here for a while, you know that my husband picked this, and it's not that I don't think it's a good curriculum, because I think it is. I just think that we could find that this wasn't the exact best fit for our family, and he agrees with me as well. But you don't know until you try, and you don't know what you don't know. So you kind of have to try things until you kind of get them. But based upon what I've seen in the BJU stuff, I think this is probably going to stick for sure. I am going to go ahead and move the younger two over into BJU math this week, just because I think they haven't gotten so far along into like, we need to make sure that you know all the concepts in the year previous before you move into the next thing. I think the younger two are still young enough that we can fill in holes as we go if there happens to be a hole between MasterBooks and BJU. I think they're still young enough, and we're going to go ahead and just start with it. Benjamin will be in K5, and Amelia will be in Math 1. So I think that's all of the new curriculum that's coming in. And then the last thing we're going to work on is just bringing in some fun, bringing in games. We have tons of games, and we do not use them very well. So I want for us to take a Friday or pick a day of the week or something and bring in a game that reiterates some of the skills that we're working on in school, or some of the things that we're going over in history or science or anything like that. I just want to be able to go over that and just kind of make school fun, because school's been really stressful for us. Also, we are going to be changing up a little bit of our routine and how we do school. We'll see how this goes as we add more subjects in, but we did start school last week, and we did 2 subjects. We did math and we did spelling. And then this week we're going to start our new language arts, and then next week we're going to start reading, and then we're going to be putting in our morning time with our science and our history in there as well. So how we're going to change up our routine is we're going to do morning time. I'm going to try to shorten it and condense it as much as I can so we don't spend an hour and a half on morning time. While all that stuff's really important, my kids are just like, give it to me, let me go. I'm ready to be done. I want to be done. So I'm trying to figure out how to get what we need to get done, but yet it not take forever. But yet it be structured enough to where we can learn and can be tested and we retain it. What we are going to do is try to shorten down the morning time to where it's just concise things, and then when we come to our individual subjects is doing everybody individually. I had been trying to have them all sit at the table with me at one time and we work on individual subjects, and it's just, I have kids that get way too distracted for that to work. So I'm pulling in the one that loves school first, Liliana. So she comes in, she gets her school done. She's usually done within, she sits and goes from one thing to the next, and she's usually done in an hour or less. And then bringing in the younger two, which I'm going to group them together in some of their stuff, and they do pretty well together. They work really well together. And then at the very end, I will bring Jameson in to do his work one-on-one without any distractions if I can. We do have 3 other kids. We've talked about this, that he is going to have to get to where he does not get so distracted. We're going to have to figure out what we can do. So if you have any suggestions for how to help a kid that gets super distracted with lots of noise and other things going around, and he's not to the point to where he's mature enough where I can send him to his room to go do his schoolwork on his own, because he still needs my help 100% of this time. So we're trying to work through all of this stuff. Those of you that homeschool know that this is a journey and it is a process, and you just kind of have to tweak things as you go and as problems present themselves. As long as my kids are progressing, don't get too terribly worried about it, and we don't fall too far behind. But there are things that I know that we need to work on and take care of in the second semester of school before we stop for the summer. So that's just a little bit about how our homeschool year is going so far, some things that we're changing, some things that we need to work on, and some goals that we have. And so don't forget to look for that playlist down in the description. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And we will catch you in another video very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.